So tonight I'm going to make chili with a side of cornbread, but it's actually more of like a sweet bread because I was going to make cornbread tonight, but our oven is not working right. So instead I got some banana nut loaf to go with chili. I often find that something a little sweet goes really, really good with some chili. So I have all of my ingredients. I have the ground beef. The celery is just going to be like a little appetizer that I like to have before dinner. I have 2 cans of red kidney beans, a pound each. I'm going to use them both, and a little bit of cheese to go on top. So it's very easy. This is a very easy dish. So before I get started with dinner, like tradition, that I have to have my glass of wine. So I make a habit of having a nice glass of wine while I'm cooking dinner because it just relaxes me, and it's just a nice treat while you are cooking dinner. So I'm gonna pour my glass of wine, and I have this really cute wine rack that I absolutely love, as you can see. So I'm just gonna switch out my old bottle and put in my new bottle, and that is pretty much just a revolving door around here. All right, so for the chili, basically I'm just going to season the ground beef. But before I season the ground beef, I like to add some fresh peppers and actually a little bit of lime in my ground beef because I feel like that gives it a nice, clean, fresh, zesty flavor. So it's already nice and soft, so I should be able to get a lot of juice from that. And I'm just going to start cutting up some of my peppers and put them in there. I put green peppers, I put sweet peppers in there, and I don't use the whole lime because I don't want to overpower it with lime, but I do want to use at least half a lime. And this is a pound of ground beef. So you guys, I'm not one of those cooks. I love cooking, and you know, family is everything to me, so I enjoy making a nice home cooked meal for my family. I'm really busy during the week sometimes, and we don't always get to cook and eat at home. So when I do, I just really try to make it really nice and just make it something that I know that they're going to enjoy. So I put my heart in it. I put a little love in it. because I don't know, I just feel like it's just nice and flavorful the bigger the chunks of your green peppers are. So we're gonna just leave that right there because I also want to season this with the sweet peppers. I want to cut some of that up. And as you can see, they're getting a little soft, which means I need to use them. So I'm going to throw them all in there. I'm going to rinse them off. And sweet peppers are really good when you're making something like chili or something where you are putting, let me grab a bowl to put this in. Sweet and the sweet and salty go really nice together. So you have your green peppers and then you'll have the sweet peppers, and that combination is like a really nice taste. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut off the ends of the sweet peppers. I don't like having the ends in my food, so I'm cutting the ends off, and then I'm gonna cut these in half and then throw them in there. Okay, so with this, I'm just gonna cut them right in half, just like that. Nice big chunks, I like that in my chili. And this is actually good like that. And voila, that's it. Let me grab some salt. I'm out of salt. I just got back from the grocery store and I forgot to buy salt, so I have to use what's left in my salt shaker. There's a couple of things that I use almost all the time. Garlic, salt and pepper. I use total seasoning, which is basically like a combination seasoning. And I use a dash of seasoned salt, which you would think is the same thing, but it's really not. One other thing I like to use is the Spanish Sazon Goya. And my chili, I'm going to use a Maggi. It's a chicken flavor bouillon. And then of course I'm going to leave out my chili powder. That's not it. Find it. I add a little bit of rosemary in my chili, and then we might add a little bit of basil. Alright, so I sort of just wing it, guys. I mean, it's dinner. It's for the kids. I know my flavors. I know what I'm kind of like looking for, so I like to experiment too when I'm cooking. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. And then now I just want to, no, actually I'm not. I'm going to mix everything together, all of my seasonings first, and then I'm going to brown the meat. So let me grab the seasonings, and I'm liberal. I'm very liberal with my seasoning. I know what's too much. See it over there? I know what's too much, and I can pretty much eyeball it. But all you need is a couple of fresh peppers. I'm also going to grab my onion, cut that up. Forgot to pull that out. A little bit of garlic, just a tad. Garlic goes a long way. And then I honestly don't even need that much salt because with all of the other seasonings, I just use a dash of salt. I'm definitely going to use rosemary. I just think that also pulls out a nice sweet flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of rosemary in here as well. And it'll give it a nice flavor. Okay. Let me grab my onion, cut that up, and then I'm going to mix everything together, and then we're going to fry that in the pan. Okay, I think I have an onion, half of an onion already cut up. I forgot that I had this pepper. I should have used that one instead of pulling out the new one. But I'm going to be very generous with this onion and use probably all of it because that's also another great ingredient in your chili. I don't bite with the onion to peel it. and just cut it in half and then peel it back like that. In case you didn't know, that is a very easy way of peeling your onion. I think I'm only going to use about a quarter of the onion. I don't think I need that many. Now the onions, I don't want the chunks to be too big, so I will slice those up a little bit smaller than I did slice up the they're still a big size. They're not minced, but they are still smaller than the green peppers and the sweet peppers. So I'm just cutting like that, and then there we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour everything in here. Okay, I've already seasoned some of it. I'm going to add the rest of the seasoning because I did not add all of it. This is a key ingredient, the sazon goya. Let me grab my wooden spoon to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to mix it up with my hands to get it really nicely mixed in there. But for now, I just want to kind of get everything in there. I use just one full pack. You can never go wrong with your sazon goya. Okay, and then my Maggi cube. This just adds another burst of flavor in your food. I've been using this since since I first started cooking. My mom used to use it, and when she would cook her meats all the time, she would season her meats with it. So the onion is starting to get to me here. So anyway, we're gonna use the whole thing of Maggi, just one though. So yeah, my mom used to use it every time she would season her meat. So that is definitely a core staple in your seasoning. Okay, so I'm pouring that in there, and that's it, you guys. I'm not going to overpower. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. I already added the garlic salt, a little bit of pepper, and then the rest of the peppers, and then I'm going to be good to go for the chili. I'm going to also make this with, I'm going to make it with a side of rice. Technically, if you're having the chili, you would just have it with your side of cornbread or the banana nut loaf that I have here. But I like to have chili with white rice, so I'm going to make me a small pot of rice so that I can have some for myself, and then they can have the chili with the loaf if they want. We're also going to add a little bit of, we're going to top the chili with a little bit of shredded cheese. Okay, so our pan should be nice and hot. I haven't really mixed it very much. I like to mix it over here, close to the pan, because then I'm going to throw it in there. So all I'm doing is, and like I showed you, nice big chunks. Oh, I forgot to grab the green peppers. Matt, can you grab the green peppers for me? Thank you. Helping me out in the kitchen today. So I just want you to throw that in there for me. Actually, no, we're going to leave that aside. We're not going to throw it in there. We are going to, once we add the beans, then we're going to throw that in the pot after we saute the ground beef. Yes. Okay. All right, guys. So like I say, flying by the seat of my pants here. This is not like a recipe that I cook all the time or anything like that. It's just one that I wanted to make, and so I decided, okay, let me make it. Let's see how it turns out. All right, so our pan is nice and hot now. You can hear the nice sizzle. We are going to cook it on medium high, if not high all the way, because we don't want it to, we want it to cook really fast, I guess. If it cooks too slow, it starts to boil, and we don't want it to really boil. We want it to fry, if that makes any sense. So we're going to put that on high, and we're just going to be really careful to make sure we cook that very good. All right, so I'm going to cook this, and then I'll come back in a little bit once it's brown, and then we'll finish up. All right, the butter is already melting over here. You can get a little closer now, because I want to show everybody. Come over here, please. All right, I like to pour it while the butter is caramelizing, like while it's cooking. So I'm just gonna pour the red beans in there, okay, with the water. Okay. Remember, we already cleaned off the top. Keep that on high. We don't need to season the beans again because we've already seasoned the ground beef. So you'll just over season everything. So I'm putting, see, this is why you want to rinse off the top of the pan. I know it's clean, so that's okay. I always take everything right to the trash. If you notice, this is what I've been doing the entire time. I don't like a messy kitchen. Listen, when John cooks in here, it's mortifying. Like, it's horrible. Like, he is the messiest person. So I'm gonna use the same spoon because obviously this is gonna go in here, so you can use the same spoon. So you just have to make sure and be careful what you're doing. But in this case, it's all the same. So I'm gonna use the same spoon that I'm using for these 2 pots. Again, as you can see, this is cooking nicely. My water is going for my rice, which again, I'm just making a little bit of rice because I like to have rice with chili. They might just have the chili with the butter loaf bread, the banana nut bread. But I like to have rice on top of that. And then of course, remember, we're gonna have the garnish on the side as well. So that's gonna be really nice. With a little bit of cheese on top of our chili. Okay. This is going to cook on high, and then we're going to, once it gets to a boil though, you're going to bring it down to like a medium low to let it cook, to let it pull in the flavor of the beans and the sauce from the beans as well as the ground beef. And really that's it. I'm going to throw in the peppers. I'm also going to throw in the minced celery as well. And some people like it really hot, but my family don't tend to like it too hot, especially my husband. He's a gringo. He doesn't like to eat things too hot. So I'm not going to put like I normally, to my taste, I would put a jalapeno pepper in there. But I know that he doesn't like it too hot, so I'm not going to do that. So we're just going to keep it how it is. Okay, most, if not all, of the oils have cooked out of here. So this is ready. So I'm just going to turn this off. And then I'm going to grab, now this is something that I do, that I think is so much easier than trying to strain your meat. I just strain it with a straining tool, just like that, and I just put it in there instead of having to strain the whole thing. I just strain it and then throw my meat in there. See how easy that is, you guys? You don't have to like strain it, then get the strainer dirty, although we already used it, but it's washed. Try to get as much oil out as possible. You don't mind a little bit of oil because that's where the flavor comes in, right? So the stove is off. So I'm just throwing the beans right in there. That's it, we're almost done. Once the rice is done cooking, we are done. I'm gonna just cut up the banana bread and then voila. And honestly, this is probably like a 45-minute meal. Like, it should not take that long. See how easy that is instead of like straining? I know people will like strain the whole thing, but I like the straining spoon. Now that it's boiling, you can see that it's boiling. This is exactly when I bring it down to a medium low. Because you really don't, I just needed it to get hot, but I don't want it to overcook. I'm gonna add a little bit of, usually I would add a little bit of, where's my screen? I would add a little bit of, I always rinse off stuff even though I just have a habit of rinsing off the stuff that I'm using. Hey Brandon, come take a look at that. Look at that. That's gonna caramelize nicely. We're gonna add a little bit of water. And you know what? We're gonna add another sazon Goya for coloring to make it a little bit more red. And we're gonna add water to this as well. A little bit of water to give it, because it's a little chunky, and we want to loosen it up a little bit. But look at that. That looks really good. That looks like really good chili right there. But we definitely want to add one more sazon Goya for flavor, but also for coloring. And you're going to add a whole pack. You're going to add a whole pack. So sazon Goya con azafrán. Okay. I'm just going to sprinkle that on there. It gives it that nice red color. And then we will also add a chili powder. However, I don't always use a chili powder because I use the sazon Goya, but I will see if I have a chili powder. I'm going to add some in there. And then I just kind of like figure out as I go. We definitely need to add water because it's really chunky. I need the measuring cup, and it's where you are. Yes, be the taste tester, Brandon. Tell us what we need. We're also going to add now. What does it mean? We're going to add now the peppers. We definitely want to go ahead and add that now because while it's cooking, we want it to pull in those flavors. And that's why I like it chunky, because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like the bigger that the peppers are cooked, like it will bring in the flavors more. That could just be me. And then I'm assuming, for whatever reason, I just instinctually feel like I need a little bit more pepper. Because you can never go wrong with pepper and chili. You can never go wrong. I don't think. I'm also going to add my, oopsie, I'm going to add my celery to give it that fresh flavor. And then I'm going to add, can you please grab the measuring cup from in there? Should be in there.
You didn't need one.
I don't. I just need it for water. I'm not actually measuring it, but I need water. Because I need to add more water.
Sure.
And normally I wouldn't. Okay guys, so the chili, as you can see, is ready. It looks delicious. It smells delicious. The rice is also ready. So what I wanted to do, I didn't want to just put it on the plate. Nico, hush. I didn't want to put it on the plate. I wanted to plate it so that you guys can see how I plate. I think plating is really important, as I told you before. And you guys might think it's crazy that just for my kids at home that I plate. I do. And my kids can attest. I literally plate my dishes for my kids. So what I do, and not really for measuring, it's more for aesthetics, for looks, because I always make more than enough. So here is my rice. And I am basically just adding a cup full of rice. I am flattening the top. I don't like it when there's any on the edges. I like a really clean plate. So I'm going to take that, pack that down.
You need to pat it down.
I think I need a little more actually. Okay, pat that down. Alright, so then once I have that going, then I bring it over here, and then I basically, and it's best to do it like right when it's really hot because it sticks together, and that sits like that. Then I'm going to bring my pot. Now I have granite countertop, so I can put anything with any heat resistant on here. So I literally am just going to put that right next to the plate. I'm going to just add the chili with all of the dressings, of course, and maybe a little bit more for this serving. Okay,
I like to eat my chili on top of my
like that. And I will take the time to clean off the sides. What did I do with the paper towel? I put it in here. I'll just use some of this. So I will clean the sides of my plate because I'm a little OCD about that. So if it's a little bit messy, I will clean off the sides of my plate. All right. So that's that. We're gonna add a little bit of cheese on top and a little bit of rosemary. And of course, a side of your bread. A little tiny bit of rosemary goes a long way. Add the rest in there so I got a little bit too much. And voila, this is your final dish. So that's all it takes, you guys, to make a nice meal, a nice balanced chili meal. So I'm going to take this back over here. And I hope that you guys were able to follow, and I hope that you make a nice chili dish like this for your family. And I'd love to see what you guys are cooking for your family.